Before the swords and empires, before the Dharma and peace, there was a storm of ambition, rage, and destiny brewing in the heart of a young prince. Under the crackle of thunder and the weight of an ancient legacy, Ashoka emerged. But what forces shaped him into one of the most extraordinary rulers of his time? And what price did he pay to transform a world drenched in blood into one guided by peace? In 321 BCE, a new chapter of history begins in the Indian subcontinent. Chandragupta Maurya, a visionary leader, unites fragmented kingdoms under one banner to establish the Mauryan Empire. Emerging from humble beginnings, Chandragupta creates one of the most powerful empires of the ancient world. From the northern stretches of modern-day Afghanistan to the southern tip of India, the Mauryan Empire rises as a beacon of strength, wealth, and centralized power. Chandragupta's reign is marked by a blend of military brilliance and administrative reform. Guided by his advisor, Chanakya, he builds a unified state that thrives on trade, agriculture, and a well-organized system of governance. The empire's capital, Pataliputra, becomes the epicenter of political and cultural activity, boasting advanced infrastructure and a thriving economy. As Chandragupta's era comes to an end, the empire does not falter. It is passed down to his son, Bindusara, who inherits his father's vision and ambition. Bindusara strengthens the foundations of the Mauryan state, expanding its territories into the Deccan Plateau and beyond. Known as a capable ruler, he maintains peace within the empire and ensures stability across its vast regions. His reign witnesses flourishing trade routes, linking India to distant lands such as Persia, Mesopotamia, and Greece, solidifying the Mauryan Empire's global significance. By the early 4th century BCE, the Mauryan Empire stands at its zenith, a testament to decades of strong leadership and visionary reforms. Yet, beneath the grandeur of this vast empire lies a growing sense of anticipation, a future that will bring both triumph and transformation. The stage is set for the arrival of a figure who will shape not just the Mauryan Empire, but the course of Indian history itself. In 304 BCE, in the heart of ancient India, a child was born who would one day become a ruler of immense power. Ashoka, the son of Emperor Bindusara and Queen Subhadrangi, was born in Pataliputra, the bustling capital of the Mauryan Empire. This city, rich with life, was already a center of power and influence, and within its walls, Ashoka's destiny began to take shape. Though much of his early life remains a mystery, one figure stands out: his mother, Queen Subhadrangi. A Brahmin woman, she shaped the young prince's early values. It was from her that Ashoka learned the importance of discipline, knowledge, and the deep traditions of his culture. Her influence stayed with him, even as the world around him changed. As Ashoka grew, Pataliputra became his classroom. The young prince was educated in a wide range of subjects: military strategy, the art of governance, and the finer aspects of life. He learned how to rule, how to lead armies, and how to understand the complex world that would one day be his to command. But this was not a life of peace. Ashoka was known for his fierce nature and unyielding determination. His ambition to one day take the throne of the Mauryan Empire burned brightly. Yet the path to power was never simple. Ashoka had many brothers, each of them vying for the throne. It was a dangerous game of competition and rivalry, one that would shape Ashoka into a ruler like no other. In these early years, Ashoka earned a reputation. He was fierce, ruthless, and driven by a singular goal: power. His early life was one of constant struggle and preparation, all leading to the moment when he would step into the world as a ruler. The seeds of greatness were sown in Pataliputra, but the true test of his character had yet to come. The road to power for Ashoka was not an easy one, But it was a journey that would see him rise to become one of the greatest emperors in history. In 274 BCE, Ashoka was appointed governor of two important regions, Ujjain and Taxila. These were areas of great political and military importance, and Ashoka's leadership would be tested early. As governor, Ashoka proved himself as both a skilled administrator and a formidable military leader. When revolts broke out, it was Ashoka who stepped forward, quelling the unrest with determination and a steady hand. His reputation as a fierce ruler began to grow, and with each victory, he cemented his place in the power structure of the Mauryan Empire. But the journey to the throne was far from peaceful. In 274 BCE, Ashoka's father, Emperor Bindusara, passed away. The death of the emperor unleashed a brutal power struggle among his sons. Ashoka's path to the throne was not guaranteed, and the battle for the crown turned violent. His brothers, each hungry for power, vied for control, and in the chaos that followed, Ashoka's ambition drove him to take drastic action. In a series of bloody confrontations, Ashoka defeated his siblings, eliminating anyone who stood in his way. The ruthlessness of his rise shocked the empire, but Ashoka emerged victorious. By 268 BCE, he was crowned emperor, having claimed one of the largest and most prosperous empires in ancient history through sheer force and determination. If you're enjoying this story of Ashoka's rise to power, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Your support helps us bring more history to life. With the throne secured, Ashoka's personal life began to evolve. During his reign, he married Devi, a woman from a prominent family. This marriage would become more than just a union of two people. It would be a turning point in Ashoka's life. Devi's influence, both in matters of the heart and politics, would be crucial in shaping Ashoka's future, especially in the spiritual transformation he would undergo later in his reign. As Ashoka's power grew, so did his family. Devi gave birth to their son, Mahinda. Little did Ashoka know Mahinda's future would play a pivotal role in the spread of Buddhism, especially in Sri Lanka, where he would become a key figure in spreading the teachings of the Buddha. The stage was now set for Ashoka's reign. The empire stretched across vast lands, and the future seemed full of promise. But what kind of ruler would Ashoka become? The answer to that question would unfold in the years to come. Ashoka's rise to power was just the beginning. The true test of his leadership would come with the expansion of the Mauryan Empire. In a series of swift and decisive military campaigns, Ashoka pushed the boundaries of the empire, conquering new lands and making the Mauryan Empire the largest India had ever seen. With each victory, Ashoka's influence grew stronger. His army marched forward, stretching the empire from the northern regions to the south. But it was one conquest that would mark the turning point in his life: the Kalinga War. In 261 BCE, Ashoka set his sights on Kalinga, a powerful kingdom that refused to bow to Mauryan rule. The conflict would prove to be one of the bloodiest wars in ancient history. Ashoka's forces stormed the kingdom, and in the chaos, over 100,000 lives were lost. The battle was brutal, and the land was left in ruins. As Ashoka looked upon the aftermath of the war, the countless dead, the suffering, the destruction, he was overwhelmed by a deep sense of regret. The horrors of Kalinga stayed with him, haunting his conscience. For the first time, Ashoka began to question everything he had known, everything he had done as a ruler. Was conquest worth the cost? What had all this bloodshed truly achieved? The devastation of Kalinga did not only change the fate of the kingdom, it changed Ashoka himself. His inner turmoil became undeniable, and a transformation began. What kind of ruler would he choose to be now? The future of the empire and his legacy would depend on the answer to this question. After the horrors of Kalinga, Ashoka's life took a dramatic turn. The man who had once been known for his fierce conquests and ruthless ambition now found himself at a crossroads. Seeking a path of peace and redemption, Ashoka's personal transformation began. It was during this period that Ashoka married Karuvaki, a woman who would play a pivotal role in his new journey. Karuvaki was more than just a wife. She was a pillar of support as Ashoka turned away from violence and embraced a path of spirituality. With her by his side, Ashoka began to reevaluate his past and reconsider his future as a ruler. As their family grew, so did Ashoka's vision for his empire. Karuvaki gave birth to Sanghamitra, a daughter who would play a crucial role in the spread of Buddhism. She would later travel to Sri Lanka, carrying with her the teachings of the Buddha, further extending Ashoka's peaceful mission. Around this time, Ashoka's personal life continued to evolve. He married Asandamitra, another of his queens. Though less is known about her role in his life, it is believed that she bore him a son, Tissa, who would also play a part in the growing influence of Ashoka's reign. In addition, Ashoka wed Tishyaraksha, who is recorded as another queen, though much about her is shrouded in mystery. It is suggested that she gave birth to Vijaya, yet another son, though his place in history is less celebrated than that of Sanghamitra or Mahinda. But it was not just family that shaped Ashoka's transformation. It was his growing connection to Buddhism. Under the guidance of Buddhist monks, Ashoka underwent a spiritual awakening. He began to distance himself from the violent ways of his past and sought to embrace the teachings of the Buddha, which emphasized compassion, nonviolence, and wisdom. Driven by this new vision, Ashoka embarked on pilgrimages to sacred Buddhist sites. Lumbini, where the Buddha was born, and Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha attained enlightenment, became significant destinations on Ashoka's journey. These pilgrimages solidified his commitment to Buddhism and confirmed the profound transformation taking place within him. In these years, Ashoka's path shifted from that of a conqueror to that of a ruler who sought peace, wisdom, and spiritual fulfillment. His journey was just beginning, and it would go on to shape not only his reign but the entire history of India. The transformation Ashoka began years earlier now reached its peak. As his devotion to Buddhism grew, so did his desire to spread its teachings across the land. Ashoka was no longer just an emperor. He had become a true follower of the Buddha, a leader committed to peace, nonviolence, and religious tolerance. His dedication to Buddhism became evident in the construction of magnificent stupas and monasteries, including the famous Sanchi Stupa. These structures stood as symbols of his faith, reaching beyond his empire to inspire generations to come. Ashoka's mission to spread Buddhism didn't stop at his empire's borders. He sent emissaries and missionaries to far-off lands, including Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, and even Greece. One of his most significant moves was sending his son, Mahinda, to Sri Lanka. Mahinda's journey would lay the foundation for Buddhism in that distant land, marking the beginning of a long-lasting religious legacy. But Ashoka's reign was not just about spreading faith. His vision for his empire also focused on the welfare of his people. Under his rule, roads were built, hospitals were established, and water reservoirs were constructed to support the population. These efforts were part of his larger plan to ensure the well-being of all his subjects, regardless of their background. At the heart of Ashoka's governance was the concept of Dhamma, which means righteousness. His Dhamma policies emphasized ethical living, respect for all life, and a commitment to nonviolence. Ashoka believed that by following these principles, his people could live in harmony and peace. One of his most important decisions was to discourage animal sacrifices, which were common at the time. Ashoka strongly condemned the killing of animals, urging his subjects to embrace ahimsa, nonviolence, both in their actions and in their hearts. This marked a profound shift in the way Ashoka ruled, and the way his empire would be remembered. The Dhamma Era was a time when Ashoka's ideals shaped not only the Mauryan Empire, but also the future of the entire Indian subcontinent. It was an era defined by compassion, ethics, and a vision of peace that transcended the violence of his past. As Ashoka grew older, his focus shifted entirely from the political struggles of the empire to the spiritual path he had embraced so deeply. His life, once dominated by military conquests and the expansion of his empire, now centered on peace and personal reflection. Slowly, he withdrew from the daily affairs of governance, handing over more responsibilities to his trusted ministers. But even as Ashoka sought tranquility, the empire he had built began to show cracks. The vast Mauryan Empire, forged through years of military conquest, could not remain strong without the steady hand of its emperor. As Ashoka distanced himself from the throne, internal unrest started to stir. Challenges to his authority emerged, and the once unified empire began to fragment. At the same time, Ashoka's aging years brought with them the question of succession. Despite his many accomplishments, there were no clear heirs to take his place, leaving the future of the empire uncertain. His sons and ministers could not fill the void left by the towering figure of Ashoka himself. In 232 BCE, Ashoka passed away, leaving behind a legacy as complex as it was remarkable. His death marked the beginning of the Mauryan Empire's decline. The empire that had once stretched across much of India would soon unravel. Yet, despite the fall of his empire, Ashoka's impact endured. His dedication to Buddhism, his commitment to peace, and his model of ethical governance continued to inspire generations far beyond the borders of his empire. Ashoka's later years were a time of spiritual fulfillment, but they also heralded the end of an era. Though his empire would falter, the principles of compassion and nonviolence he championed would echo through history, leaving a legacy that shaped the future of India and the world. Ashoka's legacy is one of remarkable transformation. He began as a fierce conqueror but evolved into a ruler who embraced peace, promoting nonviolence and compassion. His unwavering dedication to Buddhism not only reshaped the course of Indian history, but also laid the foundation for the spread of Buddhism across Asia, influencing millions. His policies, guided by moral and ethical principles, continue to inspire ideas of governance and spirituality around the world. Ashoka's story is one of power, redemption, and the enduring impact of kindness. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories from the past. See you in the next chapter.